on Wednesday, on reading day, and so thus feeding day. No comment. That will be Wednesday, 11 a.m. this Wednesday here, food feeding day. And then today is the Senior Sunday, so we're getting to hear from some of our seniors speak. So, can all the seniors who are going to speak, please stand. Y'all made it really convenient being all in the same spot. But with that, let's take up with another song.
Yeah, please rise to sing some worship songs.
Can everyone hear me?
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm Jay Resser, always me, I'm from Plano, Texas, and after A&M, I plan on moving back home, coming home just like LeBron. So, how I found Wesley was through Mark and Brooke. I knew them. I've known Mark since I was like 5 years old. I've known Brooke since high school. I actually knew them separately before they started dating, and I kind of heard about Wesley through them, starting probably freshman year, and I didn't start coming to Wesley consistently probably until spring of 2022 or last fall. So it's been fun. I guess I'll just start out with my college experience in Wesley overall. As I said, I didn't start coming till spring of 2022, but as I've been reflecting, I can think of a lot of difficult situations I've been through in college that I wish I would have started coming to Wesley, had a church community for. Two that are pretty famous. The first day I moved in to A&M, I shattered my phone. And that was a huge wake-up call because I was like, how am I going to get this fixed? And stuff like that. Sure enough, 5 days later, we're still at Howdy Week. I dislocated my shoulder and tore my labrum. And so yeah, definitely a huge wake-up call. And I started coming to Wesley after I kind of went through another kind of unique or difficult situation. I think it was really, I went through that because it was a wake-up to start coming back to church. And really thankful for this community being so welcoming every time I've come here, and everyone being so nice. I guess advice, just seek out God when you're kind of put in a unique situation. Go to your church community and your friends and stuff like that. Don't have much else to say. I'm glad this speech isn't for a grade. I just want to thank Katie, Ben, and Sharon for everything they do for Wesley and being so kind to everybody. So that's all I got.
Well, howdy, y'all. Howdy. Would you believe, in all my time here, I have never stood up here and talked?
What?
Yeah. Anyway, I've always known that I was going to come up here and talk on the Senior Sunday thing. I've been watching them every year since I started back in the fall of 2018. I know, old. Not as old. But here I am, wholly unprepared. But Wesley, so Wesley to me is really, really special. I think you guys all know this too, but Wesley is a particularly unique place because we are, essentially running this church as students plus Katie and Sharon. Thank y'all. And then, these counts. Did you graduate from the seminary?
2 weeks.
All right, let's go. Anyway, and Wesley So I've been coming here. This was the first place I stopped when I came into town, actually. And it's changed a lot, but it's somehow also like the constant in the world up here at A&M. So yeah, definitely in this time, I've seen it change in a number of ways, but somehow always just, you know, not for the worse at least, for the better in a lot of cases. We've changed pastors. We've you know, suffered through not suffered, but experienced a denominational split shift type thing. And let's see, we merged and then subsequently kind of unmerged-ish with next door. And here we are as Wesley, as a body of a church, I think as strong as ever and as you know, as set on pursuing God as ever. And I think Wesley is really special for that. You know, 2019 we had our 100-year anniversary, which is fantastic, and you know, Wesley's really special in that way. But those changes that I mentioned, I did want to kind of give some advice, like on the concept of change a little bit, because this is something I feel like I've become a bit wiser on in my time here. So, you know, change, right, can be good, bad, neutral, whatever. But it's something that I've come to embrace a bit more, especially recently, and I feel like I've had some divine wisdom imparted on me in this manner. So, essentially, you know, I've always been a very like traditional and like stubborn kind of person, you know, and never really been so open to change. But I've learned recently that you've got to, in many ways, be open to calling to change in order to you know, to do God's will and to you know, become a better, holier and more, you know, full person, I believe. I am actually looking forward to moving to California real soon. That's not something I ever thought I would do. I've totally changed my you know, career plans and life plans in a number of ways, and you know, I look forward to it. And I feel that I'm called in that manner, and I believe that, you know, we all maybe could do more to listen to ways that we're being called that we're maybe not looking out for. You know, this is something that I've learned throughout my time in college. But Wesley as a community, like I said, has been kind of that constant, you know, that it doesn't necessarily change, that the people change and the, you know, little things change, but it's always been my kind of home away from home. That's where we're supposed to be. And I really love and appreciate that just so much. I feel like I had a couple more things I wanted to say, but I did not plan too well. I'll probably wrap it up there. I think I was given a 5-minute time limit, so. Anyway, am I allowed to pray?
Yeah.
No praying.
Can I pray? Okay. Would y'all mind if I lead y'all and pray real quick? Dear Lord, bless all the students and their families of Wesley and people who run it and make it such a unique and special place. Thank you for giving me the opportunities to get to know many people at Wesley and the communities that surround it. Thank you for all the blessings that you give us in our daily lives. Help us to better serve you and to better hear you on the daily. It's in your Son's name I pray. Amen. Thanks, y'all.
I don't know how to follow that up, but no. Howdy, my name is Lord Hammonds. You know, Fight Texas Wesley class of 2023. Yeah, and but no, I believe I know most people in this room. But I just hope I can give you a little bit of advice. So I, unlike the rest of my fellow senior compatriots, I am staying. I am accepted the Master Real Estate program. I'll be here another 3 semesters, so you haven't gotten rid of me yet. Yes. But regardless, I think I can take a little bit of time to reflect and hopefully give you all a little bit of advice. So I did a little bit with Wesley freshman year, but realistically I joined sophomore year and on a service project at Alexander UMC where we were last night for Gump Bar Dance, doing some landscaping and stuff like that. And you know, I befriended some seniors immediately, which was crazy because why would a senior hang out with a freshman? But that was just really eye-opening that someone would be willing to kind of open me up to their community, what they had. Ever since then, I obviously rejoined kind of in sophomore year, but what this place really means, and I think we all kind of see it in our hearts, is you're learning about God, but you really see it in each and every person here. Every one of us is unique. Every person can have the opportunity to kind of open themselves up, open their hearts up to others. And realistically, I see every chance as a moment to help others and try to be genuine. Not everyone out there has the greatest intentions. It's just part of life. But we can always strive as Christians to kind of be that change, be that difference, try to be that positive spark in every person's life. This community has so much love. It really builds and supports you every step you're through. We might not say it out loud when we're going through something hard, or even something that's not so hard, but we all know that we can always come here, but we can also take the lessons we learned here and the love we've learned here, we can take it out. So even though I'm not leaving, I will leave you with that. I would say, try to live life to the fullest. Kind of like my grandfather actually had the expression, let the good times roll, if you've ever heard of that. So it's kind of a little bit of a life motto for me. I want to help other people have a good time, grow in fellowship, grow their relationship with God. And for me, I feel the most attached to God whenever I see goodness in other people. And this community is all about that. And I hope y'all appreciate that as much as I do. I know y'all do. And I'm so proud of everyone in here. And I want to thank you for the love you've given me. And I hope that I've done the same in return. So, yes, but thank you so much. Yeah, I think that is about all I got. So, yeah, spread love, spread the good word. Thanks.
Well, something else we do for our seniors is just to have a little moment of recognition and a little gift for each of them. And I just have to say right off the bat that I actually found this like exponentially more difficult than preaching. It's just very personal and filled with emotion, so just bear with me here. But we're going to be giving the seniors an old Army shirt and a plaque that has an inscription of blessing the Tabacon's lyrics. So they can hang on the wall or put on the shelf and remember their time here at Wesley. So first off, I want to I'll do it in the order that y'all went up. Jay, I want to recognize you. And Jay, you said that you've known Mark since you were 5. Is that what you said?
Probably not.
Yeah. So we knew this, that you had a really good sense of humor, but now we really know that you have a really good sense of humor. To be friends with Mark for that long, right? Thank you for sharing that little tidbit. I knew y'all been friends for a while, but that's a long time. But we really will miss your sense of humor, your smile, your good pleasure around here. You have actually persevered through a lot. I know that you know, kind of downplay the whole shoulder thing and the shoulder surgery, but it was a long recovery. And I know sports are a huge love of yours, and you probably have to take the bench in a lot of different things that you wanted to participate in, or were hoping to in college, and you were kind of benched because of that injury. And that is a trial in and of itself. And even though I know that wasn't easy, and you missed out on things, I think that experience will ultimately serve you well in life, because life is full of unexpected hardships, and you can draw from what you learned throughout that experience with different experiences. I pray that you have few hardships wish you so many blessings as you move back to Plano and work for, he's already got a job with an HVAC company, and I just hope you have a blast before you start your job as you go to Europe. It's on Europe for like 3.5 weeks. So what a way to graduate and then go travel a little bit. So come on up here, and I have a gift for you. Noah, I love the story that you told me about your first, how you got introduced to Wesley. So Noah was at one of those ministry fairs. Was it Impact Ministry Fair? Yeah. The Impact Ministry Fair. Impact is kind of like a Christian bush camp, and he was there, and two of our representatives, our students, were there, and he had some experience doing soundboards and stuff behind the scenes, and said, "Hey, y'all have that at Wesley? Could I serve in that way?" And they were like, "Absolutely." And that was the first time I met you, because you were behind the soundboard at Wesley. It just shows you that, you know, God can use absolutely anything to connect people to His community. Who would think running the sound? But I first met you as the sound guy, but it wasn't. You'd think, you know, oh, I met him right there or in the hallway, but it was actually outdoors because it was during the pandemic. And so during the pandemic, the worship team realized that we couldn't worship in here. We had to socially distance. We couldn't all fit in here. And so they decided to have worship twice a week outside in the parking lot through rain, wind, sun, all the things. And they did it amazingly, and it was incredible. But Noah was a part of that team, and I came to be campus minister here in July of 2020, so in the middle of the pandemic. And I had just started, and so I first meet you in this context, and you're running sound in the parking lot. Okay, I don't know if y'all have listened outside these walls, but they're like motorcycles and volleyball games in the Catholic volleyball court, and there's jets overhead, and there's wind on the mics, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. And Noah totally handled it and didn't sweat any of it. I know that you've embraced change. It was so good to hear that growing edge of yours, but that's because college has been full of ups and downs, which life will be full of ups and downs. And I'm so thankful that through all of that, Wesley was a constant and that you connected here. There's so many adventures awaiting you in California. He's going to work for Tesla on the low voltage architectural team. So I'm so excited for you, and I know who to call if I come to the Silicon Valley area and need to know what's what. But I'm more excited to see how God will connect you, like He did with the soundboard, in that unique community to a community of faith, and somewhere where you can serve and grow. And I pray that no matter where your gifts are being offered, that you'll find a way to serve God and connect with Christian community. So come on up. Willard, I first met you during our sophomore year at worship. You mentioned that you went to a service project and kind of reconnected, and you're so honest and, you know, like forthcoming. Your first encounter with me was in this setting, you know, I've already painted the picture, we're in the parking lot, and it was like 145 degrees, and I was like 8 months pregnant, and preaching and learning everybody's names, and only being able to see them from here up, because A&M that year was full mass everywhere. So I wasn't even getting to like read their lips or see their smile or anything. And of course Willard smiles with his eyes too, and I was able to see the joy behind that. But he came up, and immediately you shared with me like, "Oh, I wasn't very involved last year, but I really want to get connected." You know, it's like the beginning of the semester. You're like, "I really want to get connected," and I hoped that would come true. Sometimes we hope for things at the beginning of the semester, they don't pan out, but you definitely did. You followed through on that. And as the time passed, you got more and more connected, and with that intention that you set for yourself. It's been awesome to see you grow here in maturity and friendships that you've made. I can see how God has been at work in your life. And one of those examples came to me even just last night. Willard had the great privilege of becoming my dance partner for the Virginia Reel. And well, we were an awesome lead couple. We got to learn how to do the zipper thing, where you like spin around the middle and then spin with these people and spin around the middle. You can learn it in a few minutes. It'll be so fun. But anyway, we were the example couple, right? And we did it. And then you go through every other couple does this. It takes quite a while. And then we get back to the beginning, and I think this is the end. This is the end of the dance, right? We've already done it. We did it the example way. We did it another time. We've already done it. And Ben calls us out to start over, and it totally threw me off. And I was like, it's like I've never done it before in my life. And I started dying laughing, and Willie the whole time was patiently like, okay, like we have to spin around. He's just like a big smile on his face, and I'm like, I'm sure he is so frustrated with me. Like, I don't know how to do this. This is only the 12th time we've seen it. I do know how to do it. I just don't think we're doing it again. We had 3 opportunities that we didn't. So it just shows you how graceful that Willard is, because he didn't make a comment about it. He was just like going with it. We were like at the 10-yard line of the dance, and I fumbled the ball, and he was like, come on, we gotta get over the goal line. So I know you're sticking around here, but I pray, well, I want you to stick around here, of course. I hope you don't disappear as a graduate student, but wherever you go, beyond that, I just hope that you plug in the Christian community and offer the joy that is so obviously within you. So come on up.
Over here.
One quick announcement. This is our time of offering, so I guess if the band's gonna come up. One quick announcement is next Sunday is the last worship for the semester. That's my only quick announcement. As we move into our time of worship, let's remember that as we finish the semester and as we do big things like go get jobs and stuff, that offering isn't just inside of this church building, inside of this pew. We're called to give back to our church every day of our lives. Even whenever we're taking finals, unfortunately, we still have a deep commitment to our faith and to our church. And so always be looking for the ways you can give back to your church and your community. So would you guys pray with me? Dear God, we thank you for this day, and thank you for the opportunity to come and worship you, Lord, and to celebrate those entering a different chapter in their lives. Help us to recognize the immense blessing they have made in our lives, and to seek to offer to them the same love that they've given us over the years, and look to serve the rest of our surroundings in the same way. Amen. Please rise for doxology. You may be seated.
Howdy. Howdy. My name is Calvin Small, as it says up there. I'm a senior, graduating. It's not on, it's not on.
That's my dad.
This happened to me this morning.
This is twice today I've failed to turn on the mic. I did at the 9:45 service when I was doing the prayer, so I'm over 2. But anyway, my name's Calvin. I'm a civil engineering major, so that's fun. I'll get to that later. But I guess up here tonight, I'll just highlight a couple of things about my time here at Wesley. And I'll just start by how I started coming here. And it wasn't until sophomore year where I was really plugged in at Wesley. My freshman year, I kind of just focused on grades as any new freshman would, and me being a nerd, I really cared about it a lot. So I didn't really get outside of my dorm or the library much, and I regret that. But it was all in God's plan, because sophomore year, I decided to seek out a Christian community more, and I first got plugged into A&M UMC College Ministry over across the street. And that year, there was a fall retreat where College Ministry and Wesley did a combined retreat. And that's where I got to meet everyone else at Wesley. And there, I was put in a small group where my leaders were Juan and Brooke. And that was a great opportunity for me just to meet everyone. And it was just a great time for me to just show who I am, and a lot of people introduced themselves to me, and Brooke specifically asked if I wanted to be put in the Wesley class group chat, and that was a big pivotal moment in my time here at Wesley. I felt welcome and I felt loved by everyone, and that's kind of what kickstarted my time here. And sophomore year on, I've been trying to come as best as I could, along with academics and just the whole, college life. And I'm just gonna highlight some of my favorite moments here at Wesley. And the first being Wesley Night Live my sophomore year, where I boldly got up on stage in front of a lot of people I didn't really know, and I played the recorder with my nose. And what made me want to do that? It wasn't that year, but what made me want to do that? I don't know. I just felt the fun environment where Wesley Night Live is. A talent show was uptown, and I was like, I can go make a fool of myself. I like doing that. And I had a blast. It was a really fun moment, and I had an encore the next year where I played with 2 recorders. That was even more fun. But it was also really nerve-wracking. And then another highlight about my time one random day, my junior year in the spring, where Ben sent me a text and he was like, "Hey Calvin, you want to come do some concrete with me?" And me being a civil engineering student and Ben being a civil engineering grad, I was like, I bet I can learn something from him. Yeah, let's go for it. And I had the time, and I came down here in the middle of the day, and he needed to fill up a hole in the back parking lot because the bus, had a hard time with it. And I got to make some quickcrete, I think that's what you call it. And I got a picture of it, and it was really fun with Ben. We filled some cracks too. And that was just a special moment between me and Ben, where he got to teach me how to make concrete for the first time. And as a civil engineer, I'll be hopefully doing that a lot. So that was a great time. And then between everything else at Wesley, going on a bunch of retreats, all campus retreats were really fun. I urge anyone who hasn't been on one yet to go, just because you meet a bunch of other Wesley students at different colleges, where you get to see their backgrounds and how different they are than us. Good, different, and everything, just different perspectives in life. And also, you get to learn a lot from the pastors like Katie, where they give out, blocks of time where you get to learn stuff. And it's just a blast with the all-campus retreats and retreats in general. So that's my one advice: is if you have the time, go. If you don't have the time, make the time, because they're great opportunities to grow in relationships between us, but also in your relationship with God. So, some little nuggets of wisdom, which aren't really wise, I'd say. I'm not the most wise person. Don't be afraid of trying something new, especially leadership. In college, I don't really feel like I have all the requirements to be a leader of some sort. I haven't been particularly a leader here at Wesley. I've been a leader at college ministry. But junior year, we were really interconnected, and I got to be a part of both in a way, being co-chair and fellowship chair and freshman coordinator. And just stepping out of my comfort zone, and all those leadership positions really, I think, grew me as a person and as a Christian, especially in a Christian organization being in leadership, really helps a lot. And I urge anyone who is on the fence about it or doesn't really have the thought about it to give it some thought, because I think it really does help you in the long run. And also, college is a time to discover and to fail and to grow from all of it. So if you haven't already known that college is 4 years or more of just time to just put yourself out there and find out what you like, what you don't like, and you'll learn from the things that you do, and like I've mentioned, you'll grow from it. I certainly have. I feel as I've reflected about my time here at A&M, and it's been great. And I hope that you can get something from my talk. I want to give thanks to all my friends I've met here. They'll be friends for life. And then also Kate and Ben. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. And Sharon. Y'all meant a lot to me and my journey. And so you helped me cultivate me into the person that I am. Wesley itself is just an environment to where you can cultivate into the person you need to be and want to be, and I'm thankful for that. So I'm going to stop before I keep crying. Thank you.
Howdy. Howdy. I was gonna start off with 2 apologies. The second one is gonna be a big crybaby. So I'm sorry if I cry, but it's too late to apologize for that in advance because I'm already crying now. Mr. Calvin. So first apology. I'm sorry if this is gonna take too long because I didn't know what to write about, so I just started writing stuff down earlier, and I wrote a lot more than I thought. So apologies if this goes too long, and yeah, I'm sorry if I cry. I kind of just wanted to start with some lessons that I've learned in life and in college. And pretty much all of them I like. And they're all things I've done really bad for most of my life. So that's how I've learned. So the first one is something my pastor back home told us. And it was that God is everything or God is nothing. And if he's not everything, then he's nothing. And that doesn't mean like spend every second of your life in prayer or at church or anything like that. But it just means God is the creator of everything and the center of the universe. So let him be the center of your universe. I haven't done a great job of that most of my life, but Wesley has helped me to do that a lot better than I ever thought I could. The second one is to be vulnerable. Open up to people, be honest, just be your whole self with other people. That's how you make real, deep Christian friendship. I was really bad at that most of my life, and some people have helped me change a lot in college. God has helped me change a lot, but through a lot of people here. My third one is that Texas A&M football is never going to be as good as any of us want them to be. So put your faith in Jesus instead. He's a lot more reliable. My fourth one is to just be kind to everyone. Everyone has a story, and everyone matters to God. So they should matter to you. Don't just put on a facade and be nice to people, but really try to like love everyone you meet. People can tell when you're like, they can tell when you're just pretending to be nice or you're just acting nice. We're not just called to that, but we're called to really love everyone we meet. Along those lines, be especially welcoming and loving to everyone who comes into your community of faith. I think the reason that I got involved at Wesley is because people did that for me, and so I felt like I had a place where I could belong. And so I've tried to do that for everyone else who walks in here. So yeah, just keep doing that. I kind of touched on this, but be genuine. People want to know the real you. They don't just want to know the person who you might think you should be or want to be. It's really easy to like want to be this like awesome person, and that's good. Like strive to be an amazing person in everything God calls you to be, but also just be genuine with people. Everyone wants to know the real you. The next one is just do what you love, not just what looks good on a resume. I know I came into college like thinking of all the things I could do to like beef up my resume, and that's not bad. Like a good resume is good. Leadership and job opportunities are awesome, but like your resume should still reflect the things that you care about most and what you're most passionate about. But do those things, not just resume things. And most importantly, don't be afraid to be silly. It's really important to just be silly. I like firmly believe that with all my heart. Don't take yourself too seriously. Life is fun. There's enough hard times. There's enough difficult times. Don't make the good times any harder or too serious. Just be silly. When other people are too serious, just say something stupid and make them laugh. Makes everything better. That's kind of all my lessons that I learned at Wesley for the most part. So I'll just say, I know we're already taking too much time, but a little bit of my story here. Not too much. I think a lot of y'all know it, but Brooke and I started dating the summer before we came here. And we both didn't really want to get involved at Wesley that bad because both of our siblings were involved here, and we wanted to make our own path and everything. but we came here and tried it out and quickly got involved and got into the freshman Bible study, fish care, and made some awesome friends. And it was just such a great community. And I think God really started to like change my heart a lot in my time here. And he did it through like every one of you in this room, and everyone who came before you all as well. And I'd love to say how each of y'all have had a profound impact on me and tell you more about it, but I can't because of time. But if you want to talk later, I will let you know, because you really have. Each of you has had a crazy, amazing impact on who I am and growing my faith, even if you don't think so. I'd be happy to tell you about it more later. But yeah, it's been an incredible 4 years. I'm really, really sad to be leaving, and I'm not supposed to cry yet because I have some other things to say. I don't know, it's just been amazing. I've made the best friends of my life here. Yeah, Katie, you walked alongside me as my pastor and mentor and friend through some really difficult times, and more importantly, some really joyous times. But more than that, you have shown me so much what it means to lean on God through everything. I don't think I can count the number of times that like you were going through something difficult or there was something difficult here at Wesley, and you were completely calm and just said that you were completely at peace and you were not worried at all because you knew that God had everything handled. And I couldn't ask for a better example of what it means to lean on God steadfastly through everything than you've shown me throughout college. And it means the world to me to have had you as that example. So thank you for that. Sharon, you're the ultimate loving presence, as she tries to hide. You don't judge anyone who walks in these doors. You just love us and care about us and spend time talking to us. You have tons of work that you need to be doing, but you put it down and you listen better than almost anyone I've ever met, I think. You just listen to students. You don't judge anything about us. You just listen and love us. And it means the world to me and everyone in here to have someone like that in our lives. And Ben, you have become one of my best friends, but more importantly, you taught me that it's okay to have feelings and to talk to your friends about your feelings and to be vulnerable. And in fact, that it's a good thing, and that's how real deep friendships are made. And you are a relentless helper in general, but especially of every student here, and a loving friend to every person who walks through the doors. You're somehow a critical thinker and emotionally vulnerable, and an engineer and a minister, but most of all, you're the epitome of a Christian friend. And Brooke isn't on staff here. I was only going to talk about people on staff here, but Brooke isn't on staff here. But I can't really talk about my time at Wesley without talking about Brooke. We've lived nearly our whole relationship here, surrounded by our Wesley family. Now it's time for us to get married and move away from this loving family. But I will still have you and lots of other amazing friends. But in our time here, you've shown me more than anyone what it means to live like Jesus. I think a lot of the time I'm really good at checking the good Christian boxes and being involved in things, but you really live out your faith every day. And I'm so excited to spend the rest of my life learning to live like Jesus from you and with you. Really touched on this earlier, but there are only a couple of people in this room who were here at Wesley when I first visited here in 2018 for family weekend. And I found I was way too cool for them, and I thought they were lame. But looking back, they were an incredible, loving family then. Completely different people. Ben and Sharon were still here. But for the most part, a completely different group of people. They were an incredible, loving family, and they were that way when I first came in and got involved here. And it's still the same loving family that's here today. And that's because God is present through it all, but that's also because all of you let God work through you and are that loving family for me. So yeah, I just thank you, God, and thank each of you for your presence here and for being such a loving family to me throughout my time here.
Thank you guys. I think that when men cry, it's a sign of strength. Let's just get that. Okay. Am I on? Is my mic on? No. Yes. Maybe. It looks like it's on from here. Can y'all hear me? All right. So, Howdy. Goodness. One of the things I love about you is your sense of humor, your ability to make people laugh. You have a very contagious smile, but you're genuinely funny, and I've heard you make some really funny jokes, and even on Administrative Professionals Day, you had one of the funniest little shows of appreciation for Sharon. I'm still laughing at the video, but anyway, you're hilarious, and you share that joy with people. And I've heard you make fun of your last name. I've heard you make jokes about your last name, so I don't think this will offend you. But as I was thinking through this, I was like, the real obvious thing to say is that your impact and your mark on Wesley has been anything but small. Okay? Yeah, okay. I'm not a comedian, but it hasn't been anything but small. You have made a huge impact here, and you're one of the most positive people to be around. I've seen you be a peacemaker in some really, really tense situations, and I've appreciated it deeply. I see that in so many different settings, and meetings, and just social interactions, but sports is one of your loves, and I know that I'm not like at all the intramural things. I know that you love intramural different stuff, but sports is one of those ways that we help people feel connected as a team and see people's gifts, and you've added so much to our fellowship here. I know you'll find a way to do that everywhere you go. I'm sure you do sports as long as your body will allow you to, and all of that. You know how to make people know that their presence is valuable, and that they're not just one of many, that they are seen and known and noticed, and that has been a really awesome thing in our community. People can know. That's why you were so good working with freshmen too, as they're trying to find their way here. Well, as you go off and work in an engineering firm, as you prepare to marry Becca in July, I can't wait to see how God is going to use your relationship and your life in new communities to bring laughter and hope wherever you are. That's what you've done here. Come on. All right. Well, Mark, you mentioned this a little bit, but I actually think you should get an award for how how many little hours you've clocked in meetings with me, okay? And I'm not talking like one-on-one meetings, I'm just talking like small group meetings, all the above. So part of what I do every week is I meet with the chair, vice chair of the council every week. And he has been on that team for 2 years. So he's had a weekly meeting for 2 years. But you've also been on a lot of different task forces and stuff at that point. And as I was thinking through this, I was like, poor guy. He has sat in a room with me during meetings for so many hours. But what I've seen in you is a maturity that I definitely didn't have when I was your age. And you're able to diplomatically and gracefully